Oh boy, have I got a treat for you today. You know the Muppets? Of course you know the Muppets. They've been a cult phenomenon way before they were under the Disney umbrella. Well, against all odds, I got them to do a special show just for us. And the venue? My own computer that I'm emulating. Anyway, they actually changed the lyrics of the song for the occasion.
It's time to boot the disc up. It's time to turn stuff on. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet CD-ROM.
You have to appreciate the... give it a second. You have to expect these things when you're reading off a Well, now it just crashed completely. Looks like I got a...
Well, that worked out great, didn't it?
What the hell?
Not so loud, they're gonna hear us out there.
I already hear you. What's going on?
Dr. Honeydew, can you figure out what went wrong?
Oh, good to know we're in good hands.
Come along, Beaky.
Fozzie, you better get out there and stall.
Yes, sir.
Now what in the world could they be What are you doing to my computer? Well, hey, at least we got Fozzie to keep us company.
Hiya. Hey, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the computer.
Oh no, not the bear! I thought computers were supposed to make life better, not worse.
Hey, come on, guys, I'm trying over here.
You're trying over here, too!
Ain't that just like Stutler and Waldorf?
Well, it seems that we're experiencing a few minor technical difficulties.
Yeah, to say the least. I will say, this is a pretty impressive trick for its time. It blew my mind to see Kermit and Fozzie pull my desktop apart like that. I don't want to break the world of immersion here, but I did already tell you that I'm emulating Windows here, didn't I?
Sorry.
Oh, my head. Oh, what's going on?
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, you don't need much context to understand why that just happened. Trust me, even if you were paying attention to that and not to me, you'll realize that it made about as much sense in context. It's the Muppets, after all.
Will you stop that? Get out of here.
Case in point, this boot just ain't having his jokes.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to reboot you.
Get out of here.
Even Fozzie thought that was bad. But it wouldn't be the Muppets without absurdist comedy like that. It almost feels like a precursor to the lol-so-random comedy of the late aughts, early 10s, when Laser Collection and Asdip Movie were in their prime. But the Muppets had a lot more going for it than that. In any case, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew is here to diagnose our problem.
Your copy of the Muppet CD-ROM has been broken into teensy little pieces, and how shall I say it? Well, it's corrupted your entire system.
How in the...
But not to worry. Behold, the Muppet Lab's molecular digitizer. My faithful assistant Beaker has willingly volunteered to help me demonstrate this spiffy device.
About as willing as he ever is, anyway.
Now sit tight, Beaky. This shouldn't hurt. Too much. Here we go.
Par for the course. Ah! My desktop!
Doc, is that the way that's supposed to happen?
Ho ho
I guess I
ho!
made a silly
Poor
mistake. I
Beaker.
left the safety on. Oh dear. Say, Rizzo, why don't you be a good little rat and allow me to digitize your molecule?
Hey, sure, Doc. Whatever I can do to help you, I'd be glad. What? Well, wait a minute. Nothing doing. My molecules are happy right where they are.
Come back, Rizzo. I'm turning off the safety right now.
And this is the part where everything goes to hell. Damn it, Honeydew.
Don't worry, you won't feel a thing.
Guys? My computer?
I'm trying to, Mr. Kermit.
What are you even doing? Not the Swedish chef! What the hell is going on here?
I can't come back. I don't know how it works.
Oh, that's reassuring. What did you just do?
Boy, Kermit, where are we? Oh no! Don't tell me we're inside the computer.
I think we must be inside the computer.
I told you not to tell me that. Oh, Kermit, I don't think we're alone in here.
Hello.
Oh, this computer we're trapped inside must belong to you. Hi-ho there.
Greetings.
This place is a mess. Don't you ever delete files?
Not as often as I
Oh,
should.
we have to figure out how we're going to get around down here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, I know.
What?
Hey, let's take the data bus.
See where this is going?
Must be an inside joke.
Do you have exact change?
Exact change? I don't even have pockets.
We're in for a lot of computer-themed jokes and visual puns in this game, so buckle up. Starting with this data bus, which is how we get around in the game.
Wow, look at all these controls. Ahead, Warts Factor 1, Mr. Sulu.
Damn it, there it is again. It hiccups every time it tries to read the disc. That's what I get for trying to do things the old-fashioned way. From here on out, I'll just use an ISO. here's what that was supposed to look like. Here we have the first of many minigames on offer. Whereas the minigames were an optional side activity in most of the Magic School Bus games, they're the bread and butter of Muppets Inside. First up, Trivial But True, hosted by Kermit. Since this game was made after Jim Henson's passing, that's Steve Whitmire as Kermit. Basically, this is Hollywood Square's Muppets edition. Hit the stop button, and Kermit asks your chosen Muppet a question. Once they answer, you can agree or disagree. Get 3 X's in a row, and you win. Get 3 O's in a row or lock yourself out, and you lose. Simple stuff, but these questions are certainly out there.
Which of these has a girdle? A diamond, B, a sports car, or C,
Watch it, Frog.
C, mistletoe?
I don't think there's any difference in the reliability of the Muppets' responses either. It's just random every time. Honeydew is as likely to get it wrong as Animal is to get it right. This can quickly turn into a game of trial and error, which I'm not a fan of. Luckily, you can change the difficulty at any time from the bus, and chances are, you're going to be doing this a lot. The easiest of these difficulties is intended for kids and game journalists, or people like me who don't have the patience for this crap. In Trivial But True, the selector goes so slow that you can just choose who you want and leave nothing to chance. And I do mean that, because there's a button that straight up shows you what the answer is, which means you can't lose. The difficulty changes get more interesting with most of the other games, and I'll show them off as we go, but overall, this is a pretty mediocre minigame. At least the writing is good, since some of the questions feature banter between the Muppets. Back at the bus, Rizzo chimes in from the studio. Turns out he was one of the few Muppets spared from being digitized. Stutler and Waldorf, being out of range, are likewise safe, ready to heckle at your expense. Anyway, long story short, Rizzo explains that the only way to fix the program and get everyone out is to navigate through the computer data and play through all the games. As you complete games, you unlock more of the map, which leads you to more games, and different locations where you can rescue the rest of the Muppets. More likely than not, the memory bank is the first one you'll unlock, so we'll head there first. And go figure, it's a literal bank. And with Fozzie being Fozzie...
Hey, look, Kermit, a piggy bank.
Miss Piggy explains that she was watching some clips, bumped the deposit button, and here she is. She gets herself out in the only way she knows how. One down, several more to go. You can come back to the bank whenever you like to view any Muppet Show clips you unlock from the games and data clusters. It was a novelty at a time when the Muppet Show wasn't as readily available as it is today. There was no YouTube or Disney Plus back then. Anyway, next game. You can tell what game is coming up just by the intro sequence leading up to it. At least you can skip them if they bore you. Let's talk about Beaker's Brain. To do that, it's off to Muppet Labs.
Welcome again to Muppet Labs, where the future is being made today. How many times has a memory been right on the tip of your tongue? Well, stop looking at the tip of your tongue because Muppet Labs has perfected the Amnesiac 2000, the gadget that takes the hard work out of memories and remembers your treasured moments for you.
Well, the good news is, unlike so many other of Honeydew's harebrained inventions, this one actually works as intended. Mostly. Come to think of it, that's about on brand, isn't it? The objective is to find the right clips from the right memory and arrange them in the right order. The difficulty settings actually have some interesting effects this time around. On kids, you already have all the segments you need. You just have to rearrange them. Adults requires you to use the gadgets and gizmos to find the segment you need. Experts kicks it up a notch by hiding some of the segments on another monitor, requiring you to shuffle them around without giving Beaker a jolt. In true Muppet Labs fashion, the only one who ever suffers from malfunction is Beaker. Poor Beaker. If you sort it all out, you get to watch the full clip before you leave. I don't know about you, but none of these strike me as particularly good memories for Beaker, or memories that he wants to be reminded of. Oh well, at least it works as advertised. Right? While we're on the topic of Honeydew and Beaker, let's see if we can find them. I know just where to look. Off to CPU, Central Processing University. I suppose now's as good a time as any to explain all those trinkets adorned around the windshield. As you explore, you can find random Muppet Show collectibles floating around. Click them, and they get added to your collection. Doesn't really affect anything, but it's another excuse for the writers to have a little fun with the data entries. Just another day for Beaker.
I'm sorry, Beaky. I seem to have put way too much carbonation in your soda pop.
Next game. This one is hosted by two of the Muppet Show's most prominent critics and devoted hecklers, Stutler and Waldorf. They personally welcome you to 2 thumbs down.
Welcome to the best of the Muppet Show. Well, that's about it for the best of the Muppet Show. We now proudly present the worst of the Muppet Show.
It's a puzzle game where you solve an image scramble and are rewarded with a clip from the Muppet Show for doing so. Stutler explains that they mix the clips up out of sheer spite for how bad they found them to be. Pretty basic minigame. Higher difficulty means more pieces, and more chances of Crazy Harry showing up to re-scramble parts of it, because clearly this wasn't monotonous enough without him interfering. Not only does he not show up on kids difficulty, but it also shows you what you're unscrambling at the start, which is really helpful since the developers weren't counting on the loading screens being this fast. Yeah, the loading screen tells you what you're meant to solve for, but look how fast this loads. Did you catch that? 'Cause that was 2 frames! At least in Beaker's brain you can click on Honeydew to ask him for a reminder, but not here. You have to leave the game and come back, or just mess around and hope for the best. As you can see, I did just that and quickly caught on, eventually piecing together this clip of Peter Sellers playing an evil masseur, complete with Dr. Strangelove voice.
I'm just going to easily bring this leg around to the front.
Okay, that was definitely worth it. But Stutler and Waldorf don't think so.
Well, you successfully unscrambled the clip and won the game.
Whose side are you on, anyway?
Yeah, better luck next time.
I know the audacity of me to have such an abrupt cut is unheard of, but... Sorry, not sorry. Here we have Animal in his natural habitat, doing his best Mick Fleetwood impression.
Animal, stop! Stop playing! Stop playing the drums! Stop playing the drums!
I love that everyone starts complaining as they drag Animal out of there. Now let's take a look at one of the better games on offer. We shot a clown out of a cannon last time, and who better a Muppet for that than Gonzo? All in the name of culture, of course. Allegedly. As cultural as you can get, getting shot out of a cannon while playing classical music on a harmonica. Adjust the gunpowder and angle of the cannon to send Gonzo through the target.
Have you heard the one about the Flying Dutchman? Don't worry, I got a better one.
This is where the difficulty settings really get interesting. The layout changes pretty substantially on each difficulty, forcing you to get creative in getting Gonzo through and around the obstacles and into the target.
And today, we wish all our superstitious viewers a happy $1,000,000 day.
Here's that same level I just showed you on Adults difficulty, and me failing spectacularly at it. And Expert. You get as many tries as you want. The paramedics will drop him right back in the cannon. Different instances have different layouts, so there's some pretty decent variety.
You know, just once I wish something different would happen around here. Yep, same thing all the time.
Now that's prescient. It's a fun little game, even if you can sometimes find a way to just completely cheese it. You can find Gonzo in the carpal tunnel. I see what you did there.
Whew! Kermit, that was an incredibly painful and uncomfortable experience.
Then I guess you want to get right on the bus.
No, I want to do it again.
Sorry, Gonzo. I'm the only one in for pain here. They did Clifford dirty. He was the newest Muppet at the time, and his is probably the worst game of the bunch, rivaled only by Trivial But True.
Your Magenta MC, your homepage homeboy.
Well, at least Gonzo got what he wanted. This is basically Name That Tune, and like the whole game in general, it drags on for way longer than it should. In this case, it's because of all the unskippable dialogue and how many of these there are. Let me show you. Here's the map you start with. Now here's everything uncovered. Jesus Christ. I've counted. There are 15 instances of Scope That Song. 15! You think that's enough? That's one of the problems with Muppets Inside. There's only 7 minigames, and they spread themselves way too thin. It gets tedious.
This is starting to get painful. I hope this game never ends.
The feeling is not mutual, Gonzo. I always put this game off as long as I could back in the day, which would mean I'd end up having to play a bunch of them back to back just to progress. You're better off taking them as they come so they're more spread out, but that never occurred to me as a kid. Anyway, the wheel spin determines how many notes you get to work with and who performs. Take it away, New Zealand. Wow, I wonder what that could be. The difficulty setting only changes how many options you're given. In any case, 3 strikes and you lose. Get it right, and you get to hear more of the song. Play it, Lou! Impeccable performance, as you can see. Some of these are harder than others because they don't always sound the way you'd expect. They may be a different octave, or they may be trying and failing to work around the limited selection of notes they gave themselves. Good game for the music nerds out there, I'll give it that much. Well, God Save the Queen isn't an option here, so we'll go for the next best thing. Your reward for guessing all 3 is a performance of the third and final number from the 3 most verbally challenged Muppets, aka the Leprechaun Brothers. Sometimes all 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. It depends on the song. Let's get out of here. Anyone up for some R&R? I hear the menu bar's a happening place. We definitely get more than we bargained for from swinging by this place.
Hey, Mr. the Frog, remember me? New Zealand.
And I do mean more than we bargained for, since he too has a dumb computer pun for us.
That one must have got caught in the net.
What net?
The internet.
Why didn't I see that coming?
Just for shits and giggles, we'll head over to the graphics card since someone's bound to be there as well. I hate to cut all these short, but there's bound to be videos out there showcasing these skits without me running my mouth. Or if you're really curious, you can play the game for yourself, if you have the patience. As you saw from the map, the tedium is real in this game, so it's a breath of fresh air when you find another Muppet to rescue. You'll even get occasional banter in the bus from your passengers.
What's that?
Oh, that's hypertext.
Funny. I don't get it.
Rizzo.
I'm gonna grab my boogie board and surf the net.
Or Stutler and Waldorf.
As far as computers are concerned, which do you prefer, hardware or software?
Right now, I'd prefer to be elsewhere.
I have to give credit where it's due. They went all out with these bits. They could have just recycled and repurposed old clips, but they didn't do that. There's so much material created specifically for this game. Even little skits when you start the game, depending on how long it's been since you last played.
Oh, come on, look, they've been gone for over a week. They couldn't wait another 5 minutes?
Ozzy, come on.
Well, how about this, Fozzie? We'll cover your game next. Simple as the game may be, I actually have a fair bit to say about it. It may even strike a few of you as suspiciously familiar.
Come on, listen. I know what that audience wants.
Yeah, what?
Comedy.
Now, Fozzie may need some help out there. Use your cursor to help him.
This audience is not especially receptive to Fozzie, so in true Missile Command fashion, you're tasked with shooting down the food being thrown at him. The difficulty settings make a real difference here. The higher the difficulty, the slower Fozzie moves. The audience gets more persistent as well, and the food isn't your only concern. Well, it is on kids' difficulty, but on adults and up, you have traps to disarm, so you need to stay vigilant. Incidentally, there's a PC Gamer article covering Muppets Inside. He writes that the audience throws bananas for some reason that I'm sure makes sense. You have to shoot them down with explosions, because the same person who didn't realize it should be tomatoes also couldn't think of anything funny to throw. Like, say, custard pies. Hello? Here's your custard pies and tomatoes? Tomatoes only appear on expert difficulty since they home in on Fozzie, and he doesn't make any mention of the trapdoor, vaudeville hook, or claw. So it's pretty obvious that he switched to kids difficulty and left it there, missing out on a fair few things. And this is why we don't take game journalism seriously. Since the publishers run such a tight shift, he didn't have the opportunity to make such discoveries as the audience throwing boots at Fozzie. Some of the levels on Expert throw a combination of traps at you, or even all three. It's annoying enough that your shots have travel time, but if anything hits the stage, Fozzie goes back a bit. If Fozzie gets hit, he goes back a lot. If Fozzie falls down a trapdoor, gets snagged by the vaudeville hook, or caught by the claw, game over. And don't think you're safe just because Fozzie's nearly off the stage. I don't see the point in-universe since he's almost off the stage anyway, but maybe they're just that spiteful. Get him across, and you're rewarded with a Fozzie clip from the Muppet Show. Now this would be where I'd move on, but it's about time to address the elephant in the room. Or the penguin on the stage. This game directly inspired my own project, A Waddle on the Wild Side. I couldn't think of a better name. The objective was to improve on this game to make it more fun and fair. There's more ground to cover, but Fabio waddles faster than Fozzie shuffles, each projectile has different spawning behavior, and I'm still actively figuring out ways to improve the experience, like earning money to buy upgrades and minigames to break up the monotony. If you ever wondered how Fabio getting hooked became a recurring gag, this is where it all started. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but there was no getting around talking about my project for this video. It's a work in progress, and I'm looking for any help I can get, be it development or playtesting. Speaking of birds, let's break off this tangent and see if we can find Sam. Sam is in the hard drive, taking it upon himself to keep the place safe from ne'er-do-wells. We can't stand for pirates stealing our precious software after all, right?
Piracy has no place in the computer industry. As such, I have decided to station myself permanently at this hard drive and maintain a watchful eye.
Sorry, Sam. De Nouveau stole your thunder, and even that is but an inconvenience to pirates. Ross Scott was right. The irony shouldn't be lost on anyone that pirates are the only reason so many of these old games are even still playable today. Never feel bad about pirating or cracking a game you already own. I still have the disc for Muppets Inside, but it's much more reliable to play via ISO file so that it doesn't keep stopping to read the disc. I don't mind the brief pauses, but it doesn't make for a good viewing experience for you. But now, the time has come. We've saved the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, Kitchens of Doom with the Swedish Chef. The best, worst Doom clone ever to exist. Now we're fucking talking. The Swedish Chef once gave a superior officer in the Swedish army salmonella with his cooking. So as punishment,
Book her up, Chef. Don't be such a sourpuss.
He was sent to an experimental nuclear kitchen infested with giant sentient fruits and veggies. That is the story. Your weapons? Kitchen utensils. Your goal? Find the exit. The more damage you take, the more splattered the Swedish Chef becomes. To heal up, you kill the enemies and turn them into edible delights. Every time you meet an enemy for the first time, they taunt you with a terrible pun.
You afraid we're gonna ball you over? Get ready to dip. This time the yolk's on you.
Bold of you to say that when I have an egg beater, which conveniently kills the eggs in one hit. Normally they take 2 hits. Of course, this is assuming the wonky hit detection actually works. Meanwhile, while you're swinging your utensil uselessly at them, they can drain half your health in under a second. Granted, I am playing on expert difficulty, but the lower difficulties won't save you from bad hit detection or the fact that you turn like a tank. The controls haven't aged well. You do all your movement with the arrow keys and you select your utensils with the mouse. WASD doesn't work, which really hurts my gamer brain. But the charm is most certainly there. Just the fact that someone even came up with this in the first place is glorious. Especially if you're lucky enough to get the frosting squirter, or whatever this thing is. It's the best weapon in the game, since it's your only ranged weapon, and it kills all enemies from a distance in one hit. You can even make the wonky hit detection work in your favor. There's no travel time, this animation is just for show. It's basically hit scan with a delayed reaction from the enemies. One of the levels gives you this weapon to start with, and a whole big arena full of tomatoes. As if to just say, have fun. Kill them all, or just juke past them while you look for the exit. There are a couple maps that let you do that. Other maps put you into tight quarters and give you no choice but to fight them off. And some will have you running in circles for about 8 minutes until you find the exit. There's more exits on lower difficulties, but where's the fun in that?
Let me guess. That's the email.
You're catching on, Miss Piggy.
More am surrounded by computer nerds.
For all its faults, this is still easily the best game of the bunch. The only problem is there's not enough of it. There's only 10 stages. Actually, let me rephrase that. There's too goddamn many of the other games. There's 15 stages of every other game, plus 10 of these, bringing the grand total to 100 levels. Jesus. Told you they were spreading themselves too thin. Some of them definitely overstayed their welcome, while others did what they could to spice it up a little. Full disclosure, these puns are not intentional, they're just the frosting on the carrot cake.
I love carrot cake.
I know you do. Wait, what are you doing here? There's only one Muppet left to rescue, so let's swing on down the information superhighway and head to the modem to find him.
Unable to connect.
Never change, Chef.
Unable to connect.
Hey, Chef. I'm glad we found you. Hop aboard.
The Swedish Chef has always been my favorite Muppet. I feel like there's a joke here that I'm not getting.
Come along, Beaker. I know she sounds attractive, but we really must get going.
Don't say it. Please don't say it.
I won't mention it.
Neither will I. It's low-hanging fruit. It speaks for...
Mickey, an icon.
It wasn't me, Kermit.
God damn it. Here's a better one.
Ah, the dirty little frat-basset grummel slinger, little scrooby Ruby.
Well, what's that, Kermit?
Must be the cursor.
Ah, I get it. No, I don't.
Well, while we're wasting our time here, in case it's anyone's birthday today...
Happy birthday!
We would have sung you the song, but then we would have had to pay a royalty. Sorry.
Well, climb aboard.
Once all the games are beaten, it's time to beam out.
Oh, guys, what are you doing just sitting around there for? You did it. You connected everything. I'll beam you out of there. Oh, but first I'm just gonna get a sandwich. Well, my blood sugar's a little low, and I shouldn't be operating any heavy machinery.
Rizzo!
All right, okay, take it easy. I'll get you out now. Okay, everybody, say Limburger.
We did it. Good work, everybody.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you think we can safely run the program now?
Oh, indubitably, Mr. Kermit. I think.
All right, let's do it.
While they set up the finale, time for my final thoughts. Like I said before, this game really drags on thanks to how goddamn many stages there are. Even as a kid, it was tedious as all hell. I was at least able to entertain myself a bit more by cranking up the difficulty, since that actually made games like Kitchens of Doom and The Great Gonzo more fun. But I can agree with that PC Gamer article on one thing in particular. Once you've seen everything, you've seen everything. There's nothing new in terms of gameplay, they just get progressively harder. Sometimes. Games like Trivial But True, Scope That Song, and Beaker's Brain remain pretty much static in terms of difficulty. At least The Great Gonzo gives you different layouts and Kitchens of Doom gives you new levels. But that's it, really. It was a fun novelty for its time, but goddamn if it isn't a drag after a while. This game is not to be finished in one sitting.
It's time to check the com. It's time to start the program called the Muppet CD-ROM.
Well, at least someone had a blast, right? Well, I give them full marks for these Muppeteering segments. Take the Muppet Show, theme it around computers, and you've got yourself a quality experience. I love the attention to detail of the Muppets all popping up in different software and applications. I almost wish they did this more outside the cutscenes. Most of the games are themed mainly around the Muppet Show itself, which is fine, but the whole gimmick is that the Muppets are trapped inside your computer. The counter-argument to that is that it feeds into the story that that's what it was meant to be, a series of Muppet minigames. And then all hell broke loose when Honeydew's digitizer went haywire. But you know what? They do acknowledge that.
All right, that's it. Enough is enough. Oops. Okay, let's get things started.
Oh, well, Miss Piggy, I'm afraid we can't get things started.
Why not?
Because we're done. It's the end. The game is over.
Their disappointment is immeasurable, and their day is ruined.
It's time to end our program. We're glad we made a friend. We hope to see you shortly.
We hope to see you shortly.
We hope to see you shortly.
We hope to see you shortly. We hope to see you shortly on the most sensational,
Inspirational.
celebrational,
Muppetational.
when you play the Muppet CD-ROM.
Yay!
Didn't think I could do it, did you?
Okay, guys, let's shut things down. And let's leave their computer the way we found it, please.
Much obliged, Kermit.
All right, I'm out of here. Okay, Bernie, what do you got for me? Another CD-ROM? Oh, no way. Come on, Bernie. People may buy those things, but nobody ever plays them through to the end. And if I shoot a scene, I want people... Ooh. Well, almost nobody. Where's my limo?
And that's Muppets Inside, a fun but tedious interactive Muppet romp. Tune in next time for a futuristic racing game set in the distant year of 2012? Boy, were they optimistic. Well, see you next time.
You know that computer saying garbage in, garbage out?
Yeah?
Whoever made that up must have seen this program.
Oh!